if you hung around other fathers who are on the same path as you. This is why I created the Brotherhood of Iron, because inside the academy, men sit down with other men. We call them the Iron Council. See that right there? The Iron Council, right? We call them the Iron Council. They sit down with other men and they say, hey, I'm dealing with X. Guess what? We've all dealt with the same thing or something similar. And then being able to navigate that. Doing shit by yourself is going to put you in a worse position than doing things with a bunch of men. Because by yourself, you don't have oftentimes, we don't have the lived experiences to navigate what we're currently stressed with. I have a friend on Facebook here who's struggling with his addiction, alcoholism. And instead of him finding other men who've actually beat the monster of alcoholism and is still fighting to this day, he wants to do it on his own. He doesn't have any experience with doing this. He doesn't have any know-how. He hasn't actually really fully dealt with it like he should. But the belief is, if I do it by myself, I can do it effectively. You can't. You can't. Let me read on. Journal or reflect. This is by far the best advice you will ever get. As a matter of fact, I'm creating, for those who do know, I created a journal called the Battle Book Journal. And it's a fantastic tool. But journaling and reflecting, during my stroke, early in my stroke, I had a cousin tell me, say, hey, you know what you should do? You should actually write down what you're experiencing during these times early after my stroke. And it helped. I thought it was stupid. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. But what I found is, I was able to deal with what I was dealing with easier. My body isn't my body, right? Having a stroke body is different from having a regular body. My body sometimes does what it wants to do, right? And so oftentimes, when I was hurting, I would say, you know what? I'll write down the day, how I'm feeling, and then whatever I was thinking. So I would write as if I was talking to my non-stroke self, or I was talking to the stroke me 10 years from now. Hey, we got this. You know, don't give up. You're X, Y, and Z. Da 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 da. And that helped me. That helped me deal with my stress after my stroke. And then lastly, in number 2, is take breaks. Step away. Step away when needed. Seriously. A lot of times as fathers, we feel like we need to be involved in everything's going on in our life with our children. Take a break sometimes, right? Men need to have moments, and I say men because genuinely everyone does, right? But men, you need to have moments where you can say, you know what, let me pull back for a minute. Whew. Now let me deal with this. I would tell my wife when I got home from work, back then we worked in like 10, 12-hour days, 6 days a week. And after a 12-hour shift on a Saturday, I would come home and I would say, listen, give me an hour to myself. She said, okay. And all I need is an hour. I don't need an hour, 5 minutes. I need 60 minutes by myself. And I set my timer. And in that hour, I can do, say, go wherever I want to go to release myself. Normally, I didn't go any damn where. I sat in my office and I just was quiet. And then when I got the work off me, then I got involved, right? Taking that time, man, is absolutely pivotal for becoming a better father. It is. It allows you to reset yourself and get yourself set for the next thing that's going to come. Because as a father, there's always going to be things. Always. So number 3 is set boundaries to protect your energy. Know your limits. You can't do everything. Setting boundaries, man, especially when you're stressed or trying to navigate being a good father. Setting the boundaries, not just for yourself, for your wife, for your children, for everyone. Setting boundaries is good for your emotional well-being. Hey, listen, right now, I can't deal with that right now. I can't. I want to, but right now I can't deal with that. You gotta give me some time. And it's okay to set boundaries. It really, truly is. A lot of people will tell you setting boundaries is a bad thing, or they would try to convince you of that. They gaslight you into believing it's wrong. No, it's not. Right now, I can't deal with this. And whatever that thing is. And whenever you can deal with it, hey, revisit it. Hey, I can deal with it now. But knowing your limits, setting those boundaries, then sets you up for when things come along that you can deal with. You're more clear-headed. You're more rested. You're more ready to deal with those things that you don't see coming. Um, avoid overloading your schedule. Make time for family, rest, and personal growth. This is important. Um, Again, I think about back to my stroke when I was laying in the bed, thinking to myself, I should have spent more time with my children. I should have spent more time with my wife. I should have been more present in their life, and I wasn't. It wasn't until after I realized could also all of a sudden not be here that mattered. Let me go on. Delegate responsibilities. Fatherhood is about leadership, not doing everything alone. Now, oftentimes that means, if I have to, if my wife is finna do some yard work when my children were little, if my wife is doing some yard work and my son was in the room playing, son, go out there and help your mama. Not because I'm just being a dick, but because he needs to get out of the room and go do something, right? This might be his punishment anyway because he did something early in the week, and I told him I'd punish him, but I didn't know how to punish him. And of course it wasn't punishment in the sense of I want you to suffer while doing it. I want you because I have to actually punish you for whatever it is you did. This is it, right? And typically I wouldn't have nothing, but being able to delegate that allows my wife to get it done properly, faster. Teaches my son, teaches my son a lesson, and it gives me time to reflect on what I need to do as a father. My daughter asks the same thing. Hey, baby girl, go help your mom out. Oh, I need you to, do these things real quick. Not because I just don't feel like doing them, but because that would help me long term. So being able to delegate as a father is phenomenal. Number 4, and this is the last one in this part. Take time for yourself without guilt. Spoke about that earlier. Schedule time for your hobbies or relaxation. As a father, schedule time for relaxation and hobbies. You're going to need time to actually do the thing, right? Now, it should be a happy medium between the two, right? If you're a guy who you enjoy, having, doing the hobby or, you enjoy the relaxing more than you do your family, you might want to reevaluate some things, right? I enjoy my family more than I do, my hobbies because that's my family. My hobbies will always be here. My family won't. And if that's the problem, if that's the case for you, we need to look at that. Excuse me. Do something that energizes you. Now we're talking about make time for yourself without guilt. Do something that energizes you, meaning something you can do and get lost in doing. One of the things that I do very well is I write. I do. I love it. I love to create. I love writing. I love the whole process of it. I can do this for hours and never get tired of it. And lastly is understand that rest is productive. I used to think that rest was like Gary Vee, not that he was responsible for this, but we gotta hustle, we gotta work hard, we gotta take time. Sometimes you need to stop and go, you know what? Let me think about that. Oh, this is number 5, and this will be the last one for this. And then practice patience and mindfulness.